right now, and Orangutan, they have everything on the line. They need to be able to claw things back, and that minimum 4-game mark to even consider themselves champions has now extended to 5. And I just need to remind all of you, Orangutan did come from the losers bracket, which means they'll have to bracket reset and then beat OMO Abyssinian again. And right now, I mean, with how OMO Abyssinian is playing, I don't know whether that's gonna happen, I'll be honest.
Slowbro is open. Slowbro for Ikura is open, and they just decide to go for that.
Okay.
And that is something, that's one of the Pokemon that you don't want to give Ikura.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Ikura special. We talked about the Xingdi special with the Greninja. He had his time to shine, and right now we're going back to something a bit more comfortable. When Orangutan were winning in these prior series, it was Z-Ray on that Chandelier. They're gonna switch off that, or at least switch off that Mew and give him that Chandelier back in his hands. Now, BKZ, very, very strong Machamp player as well, has created numerous openings for the squad. And interestingly enough, prior to this series, or prior to this game in particular, they've really spent a lot of time pigeonholing into Wiggly, but it seems like they're not really thinking so much about it anymore.
No, yeah, I mean, just going over into this kind of composition into the set of Orangutan, we can only assume that the last Pokemon is going to be either the Machamp or the Buzzwole as well. But going into the side of the Abyssinian, though, they are getting... just gonna be trying to go back, just gonna be trying to go back to what they are comfortable with. But as I mentioned, Orangutan is just gonna be buying this composition, this kind of combination with Xingdi along with BKZ, either the Machamp or the Buzzwole. And instead of gonna be going in for the Machamp again, just going back to the composition that made them win the Asia Champions League.
Yeah, this is it right here. Ice gonna be on that Blitz. He saw a lot of single target sustain. Perhaps they help Xingdi, perhaps they help BKZ, and maybe Z-Ray and Ikura. This is his specialty right here. The captain has decided it's my time to shine. He's gonna put the fancy pants on, and he's gonna steer this ship. Now, Luis, we've seen him largely play Chandelier for a large part of this tournament thus far, but he is quite a monstrous Mew in his own right. Now, Mew definitely hasn't looked quite as strong as the Chandelier, just Pokemon to Pokemon, but we'll see what he can make work here. Now, OMO Abyssinian, 1 game away. Can they do it here?
That is the big question here, as OMO Abyssinian is currently on tournament point. Once again, for those who have just tuned in, OMO Abyssinian just needs to win one more time to win the entire thing against Orangutan.
Yep, Orangutan, they climbed all the way up here to this canopy. Can they seal the deal? Can they look past the horizon and call themselves the champions, at least of APAC-EAST? Yet again, we'll have to see. It's a long haul ahead, and they better get those arms working. They have a pretty intense draft, I'd say. Once again, I think, JJ, you were on the sidelines when we were talking about this, but this Absol is a very make or break Pokemon. Can definitely fall by the wayside and get crushed because it's very much a glass cannon.
It's a glass cannon. It's going to get early lead, and they're going to have a hard time. But speaking of a hard time, this is it. Tournament point for OMO Abyssinian against Orangutan. Let's have a champion time.
Absolutely. Here, Miva already taking a bit of damage here, but that's the price you pay, right? It's a tax for getting a stack. Every time you take a stack, you get a slap on the back. That's how it works.
Scratch my back and I'll scratch yours is how it's gonna be played here. But the question is, though, would Machamp be able to get that Machoke quickly to help out Xingdi? That is the big question here.
Absolutely. Xingdi, already taking a bit of a tumble here on Ikura, only at that Slowpoke, and Xingdi not able to really capitalize on that rotation to the bot path. So not the best look, but not the end of the world. I mean, he still has, I would argue to say the Absol's window is the first 5 minutes of the game, right? If he's able to catapult himself to a good start, then that's where things can really get messy for his opponents. Speaking of his opponents, they're standing their ground here, contesting for that set of birds, but they managed to get Miva while they're at it. So still slashing through, the dojo actually decided to evacuate out of there, and JR Epson takes a tumble because of it. Very interesting decision there from the side of OMO Abyssinian to essentially abandon their top half Pokemon.
that's what we're talking about here with the composition. Sorry, not composition, but rather the combination of BKZ's Machoke this time around, and the Absol. The moment that they get in the RKO out of nowhere, you know, just submission, immediately is gonna get fouled up here by Shingdi. But look at this right now. Here comes the damage coming from Shingdi. Gets the focus ban as well and the potion, but unfortunately enough, there goes the hyperspace hole to push and bits of damage against Shingdi.
Yeah, I mean, Shua is starting to run rampant here on this dojo. Didn't have the best time in the top side, leaving his allies alone, but he's starting to run rampant already at their level 6 and ramping up in a big way. Now, he's still a bit behind this Absol just because of how fast Absol can clear these wild Pokemon, but every single KO you get on Shingdi right now is going to go a long way, dashing him out and actually forces him out of the hyperspace hole, but JR Absol will be just fine with the X speed.
And Ice here. Ice and Akura still trying to get in a little bit of XPs for both of each other here. Both of these players as well running in that XP share just to help down on their teammates. But look at that right now. Shua gonna be able to take down BKZ and Shingdi in the process.
Yeah, I mean, Shua really just starting to run rampant. Like we said, this dojo has definitely found itself at the top of the pecking order here, pulling down Orangutan and stopping Shingdi in his tracks. Now, BKZ has done really well historically, but when you're up against 4 members, as this Machoke not even fully evolved, you don't even have Barrage Blow to rely on. Now, they do take down JR Epson in the bot path, so just trading the top path for the bot essentially here.
No, yeah, and this is actually a very good trade here for the side of Abyssinian, just because of the fact that, you know, OMO Abyssinian here does have the point lead and, of course, the XP lead as well. So that Reggie's steal sacrifice to that of Orangutan is not going to hurt them as much.
Yeah, we'll have to see just how impactful it actually is, right? Because it's gonna drag Shingdi up here, and anytime Shingdi's up here means that he's not clearing wild Pokemon, he's not moving for a gank or trying to find a sneaky maneuver, and actually needs to potion to deal up with Reggie's damage. So almost goes down there. The focus ban popped as well, so not really the look that you would like from your Absol.
No, yeah, especially that it has a cooldown of 1.5 minutes. That is going to take quite a while for it to actually get its cooldown out. But here you go, though. Abyssinian still has the lead against that of Orangutan, and being the tournament point that it is right now, I'm pretty sure they are, you know, they have their morales up right now.
Absolutely. And OMO Abyssinian, the window, like I said, for this Absol definitely closing here, and I don't know what else you can find on Shingdi. You're gonna have to put on some real fancy pants and get the hat moving to find some business here. I mean, the side of OMO Abyssinian, they're gonna start getting too tanky for you to take down.
I have to agree with that as well. The more that Abyssinian here gets her XPs, the more that they will have a hard time. The Orangutan is going to have a hard time into taking down Abyssinian, especially with the Hoopa as well. Not only are they tanky with that of the Trevenant and of course the Blastoise, but you have to deal out. You have to deal with the Hoopa as well, which can then refresh your HPs should you be able to shred it out.
Absolutely. Orangutan, they're gearing up for this basement Reggie spawn here. They do have a lot of control in this area, and they've done a pretty good job in terms of taking down the Hoopa time and time again. But the Rings Unbound is available, and Tempest looking for an opening here.
Both of these teams just poking out this Reggie Rock. As you can see, Abyssinian as well does have the position advantage into that Reggie Lecky. Uncontested, gonna be able to take this one up again, the second one in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, just consistently ramping up this advantage. EXP wise, it's nothing too crazy because both teams, they're actually keeping very much EXP parity here. But Shingdi alone up against 3. The Midnight Slash manages to get him out of there. He jumps towards the Altaria, the Sucker Punch as well, forcing out the Hydro Typhoon. They actually commit a Unite move for a Unite move, and the Reggie Lecky, it's in, which means that this dojo can just break that one wide open. Niva now in some trouble, but turns around, spins him down, and Machamp stands no chance against that big bad turtle. And once again, Orangutan, they find themselves in a bit of a pickle.
No, I have to agree with that as well. 210 to 67. That is more than just a pickle my dude.
Yeah, true.
It's a little bit too much here. In Orangutan, they need to do it now.
Okay.
You know, they need to have an answer back against the Abyssinians now if they want to win against them. And they cannot just, you know, prepare themselves for the Rayquaza because they still need to catch up to them before the Rayquaza.
Okay, good stepping stone, good starting point. The Reggie Rock gonna be secured by Orangutan near this final stretch. Now, there is still gonna be a Reggie Lecky, if I'm not completely mistaken, but we have to see whether that spawns in time. As now, like the graphic says, a huge lead the way of Abyssinian, and it just feels like Orangutan, they don't really have an opening to find engagements that will work out for them.
No, I think like Orangutan is really having a hard time right now. As you have mentioned, as Abyssinian definitely does have all the covers, right? Covers everything essentially is what I'm trying to say here. You know, they do have the what do you call this? The top path. They have the bottom path as well. They have the Hoopa, and likewise they do have Shua as well. Still with the Dodrio just roaming around the entire map.
Oh, they knew they were in there, falling low already, but they managed to melt down the dojo at the start. Huge barrage blow from BKZ with the Horn Leech back the other way. That's gonna be Trevenant pushing them aside. Hydro Typhoon onto 3, but immediately submission is the Blastoise against the wall right now, and he gets cross-shot down. Nice initiation there from the side of Orangutan. They got caught with their pants down, but just like that, 2 members out of the picture, and the Hydro Typhoon used as well, but no barrage blow. They need to find an opening. Tempest trying to round out the rear. Hyperspace Hole used as well, and Phantom Forest charging through that Mew. That's a huge stuff. Takes down the Chandelier, and the Machamp stands no chance as well. It's falling low, but Orangutan
Ikura
grabs
got
it.
Ikura got
grabs it. But can they get the dunks? They need to find an angle, and they need to preserve their shields. The Blissey gonna find one. That's 50 points. You just need one more. Absol makes it happen. Xingdi, just make your way to the goal zone, and you can deliver your team the victory. But there's the bodyguard, the Trevenant in the top half, and the defenders, they're already back. This is looking dicey. Orangutan, 1 minute left, and they need to make this work.
Oh, but
There
there
we
goes
go.
Kura,
There
still
we
with
go.
the shield. My goodness, are we going to be getting into game number 3? There's still a minute left. Abyssinian only needs to catch up 57 points.
They just need one concerted push, and they still have the tier 1 go zone to use. This will not be a good look if Xingdi goes down here trying to dash away using that speed zone with the winds. Now that the legendary pit is up, Xingdi, he's just dancing around. He's looking for an opening here, but immediately that's the defender, Luis, jumping back the other way with that sucker punch, but it's gonna cause his demise. Wasting quite a bit of time though. Another Hydro Typhoon as JR Epson trying to go in for the dunks. Where are the defenders from the side of Orangutan? The BKZ is still forced to stand his ground in case of any sneaky dunks. The Phantom ambush straight into the hyperspace hole as well, but the rest of the attackers from OMO Abyssinian, they're starting to siege this goal zone. Shua with the tri-attacks constantly peppering away at the defenders, but they just can't break this hole right now. The surfs coming in from this slow bro, just keeping them at bay, and try as you might, the ink bombs. Now Luis as well with the Mystical Mirage, but is it enough? The side of OG, they're holding their ground, and here comes the submission. I don't know if they managed to get a dunk in. I couldn't really catch it. We'll have to wait and see, but the KOs, they wipe the floor, and we'll have to see just who won that. It was close.
Shua wasn't able to get in the final score, the final dunk, and I don't think they have the win. Not as much. I think it's gonna be very close. Yes, it is.
God.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Okay.
If Shua was able to make that last last score, I think it's still not gonna be enough because 20